As we look back to last night's games, not just at the SDM Glass Stadium, but also Jenner Park, this morning it's a case of as you were at the top of the JD Cymru Premier.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's. I think there's always been talk about what's going on in the other games while we've been playing, with the title race being so close. I mean, one thing I would say is we are very much focused on what we're doing. We didn't know what was happening in that game during our game because we had to take care of business in our game, and we really did that last night. I watched the highlights of that game back. Some dubious decisions there, so to speak, with the penalty. I'm not sure, but look, all we can concentrate on is what we're doing. We need to win these next two games and see where that puts us at the end of the season.
And our next game is here at Park, called the penultimate one of the season, as we host Barry Town United. It's a 2nd v 5th clash. However, with two teams between us, there's 31-point gap and a goal difference swing of 71. That, on paper at least, is one that the New Saints should win.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that when we've come into this split, I've found all the games, from what I've seen and coached in and watched the games back as well, have all been difficult games for a variety of reasons. I think none more than this week. You see what Barry did last night against Connors Quay, took them right to the wire and were in front for a period of the game. And I think it'll be the same here. I think I really rate what they're doing there. I think they've got a good style of play and they can cause any team problems on their day. So although the stats might say that, I think it is with these couple of games left, I think it is going to be tough, and not the form necessarily goes out the window, but I think it's something to consider definitely. However, I don't think it's as easy one on paper as it might look.
Regardless of what happens elsewhere, if TNS wins that game against Barry Town United, then the title race goes to the wire.
Well, yeah, that's what we've said to the players. Look, we can only control what we can, and that was the same as when we drew 0-0 on the weekend against Connors Quay. We weren't trying to play for the draw. We wanted to win the game. We didn't, however, but it keeps things alive and keeps things going. We probably didn't expect them the other week to slip up against Bala, but they did. So we want to make sure that if something happens in the other games, that we've done our job our side, and that's all we can do. And the players are very much focused on that. We've talked about that a lot in the previous weeks actually as well, not just this week, and we'll be looking to maintain that focus.
Going back to our last but one game at the D-side Stadium, Keston Davies came into the starting 11. He did a specific job. It was an excellent job that he performed on the pitch. He kept his shirt for the game last night against Penabont. He hadn't been in the starting lineup for some time. Is that a message that you would give to the players? Keep plugging away, keep working hard, you'll get your chance, and if you perform, you'll keep the shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a very good example of someone who's come in and taken his chance well. He played in the Carnarvon game at home, kept a clean sheet. Although he didn't win that game, I thought he had a good performance there. He hadn't played for a while, so that's always difficult for a player, especially a defender and a centre-back too. Like you said, Connors Quay, thought he performed excellently, good physically, good in the air, provided that stability. He played just in front of the back four on that day. And listen, he deservedly kept his shirt for last night's game and thought he was good again last night. No mistakes from him and another clean sheet. So, yeah, I think he is a good example of that. There's been other players who have had good examples too. We take training very seriously here. Whoever's training the best and playing the best either stays in the team or gets an opportunity in the team. So he's really done that, and he's deserved that, and he's deserved to stay in. So fair play to him.
And still staying with starting lineup questions, you made two changes last night. One of them was enforced due to Danny Redmond's suspension. Obviously, you, as any manager would like, you want to keep a settled side. But how do you then balance that with keeping the other players happy who are knocking on the door, training each week, and they also want to be on the pitch from the off?
Yeah, well, I think, listen, it's about delivery. I think under pressure, and the players who come in need to play well and do deliver under pressure to keep their place in the side. Also, as well, the ones who aren't in the team need to be pushing in training. Like I said, we take training very seriously, and we make sure we actually film training every day, and we watch that back and review it back so we can see who is training well, who's not training well, etc. But then also, I think telling the players who aren't in the team or in the squad what they need to do to improve, to get better, and how we can help them get better to get back in the team. There's obviously every player wants to play and start every game, of course. They wouldn't be the players that they were if they didn't. So I think it's getting that balance between, as long as they know where they stand and what they need to do to improve and get in the team. I think that's the big challenge. And there has been, like you say, 2 or 3 players who have probably been out for periods and then come back in. Ryan Harrington would be another one who's come in. He's got maybe his opportunity through an injury with Simon Spender being out, but he's come in and done well, so he keeps his place. So it can happen.
And finally, as we look ahead to JD Cymru Premier, match day 31, the availability of the players.
Yeah, well, obviously Danny Redmond's back in after his suspension, so he'll come back into the frame. We had one or two niggles. We had to take 2 players off on last night because of that, so we're not sure how they're going to come up. But apart from that, we're not too bad.